Good morning. Welcome back. Well, welcome back to me.
Are we supposed to say welcome back to you?
Yes.
Welcome back.
Did y'all miss me?
You were gone?
Morning.
Oh, you're so funny, Eric.
Did you have a good time?
Yes, I had a blast.
Well, that's a good thing.
I had a blast. It was great. Good to get away and just kind of relax and I don't know what you would call it. Why do I have stripes in my face? That's
The sun's coming in, is blasting you up a little bit.
Let me see if I can fix it. Oh.
Let's see. That's a little bit better. Don't worry about it.
I just look like a zebra.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm a zebra. I'm a zebra. No,
I feel
sorry. Oh, how's everyone doing today?
all right. They wake up.
I'm
I
tired.
hear you.
Where's Sally at?
Well, you know, she was on, and then we were having some technical difficulties this morning. It kept giving us the monkeys, you know, that are working on the whatever, and so we couldn't get on. So I told her, I said, well, just wait a few minutes and then, you know, we'll try it again. And then she said she came on, but she said that it was really, what did she say? Oh, that the mice were in there. So I don't know.
Yeah, give her a little time. Get the internet a chance to wake up in the mornings.
Oh yeah, she'll be back. But yeah, I did pretty good. I had to get busy yesterday and get started on my shipping, so that was fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I had, what did I have? I had 38 sales.
While you were gone?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. That's more than 5 a day.
Yes.
Good job.
That's pretty good.
And you know, while I was there, I think it was the second day that I was there, we went to the bins, and she was just amazed. She had never been before, and she'd never been to the bins.
There she
anyway.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
good. Good.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I had to make some
good.
coffee real fast.
I figured. Much. But you know, she went to the bins with me, and we had a little Atlas with us, and so I, you know, started piling it up, which I really need. I controlled myself better than I did last time. Last time I had to ship stuff home, and I did not want to do that this time because that eats into your profits, you know.
Yeah, but when you're buying from the bins, it's not that terrible.
I understand. I think it was $1. What was it? $1.49. I think it was $1.49 a pound.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting 45 pounds.
Wow.
And you know, the limit, because I always take an extra suitcase, so the limit on Southwest is 50 pounds.
Oh, cool.
So I was kind of freaking out because I had to get on the plane, or I had to get to the airport by 3 Friday morning, 3 a.m. And when I went up to the counter, I was really worried that it was going to be too much. It was going to be over 50. And so I went up to the counter and I was like, oh my God. What? Because, you see all these people, if they've got too much luggage or too much stuff, they have to open their baggage and they have to, shift things around and all that. And I did not want to do that, not at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Did you have a carry-on with you?
I did have a carry-on, but I hate this. If there's one thing that I hate taking a carry-on. And I did have a carry-on because I had my laptop with me and stuff like that. But, and I could have put a few things in there.
Yeah, I would say if you had to lose, take out a pair of jeans or two and throw them in the carry-on, that'll knock off 5 pounds. So.
Right. So I put one on there and it was like 45 pounds. That was my suitcase. And then I put the other one on there and it was like 52. And I was like, oh shit. This is not good. Well, the guy just he grabbed it and threw it over on the conveyor belt. And
yeah, again, they put a weight out there, but it's not something that they're going to be desperately, we got to be at this number. If we're close, you're fine. But if it's one of those things where somebody walks in with 100-pound weight, I had to pay $100. I had an extra suitcase I was bringing back from Germany, and it had all our souvenirs and everything in it, and ended up having to pay $100 fee for an extra suitcase fee. They charged me on the return leg. They didn't charge it to me on the beginning leg, but
wow.
So yeah, every one of our souvenirs cost an extra bit of money. And then they broke my one thing that I wanted. So what? It's too early. You already.
Yeah, I was very relieved that it didn't cost me. I thought, well, if it's 60 pounds, I'm, screw it. I'm just gonna pay the extra whatever it is, which I don't know really if I would do that, but
It's pricey.
Yeah, I think it's $75.
Yeah, I would rather move things around, put things into my carry-on, or worst case scenario, pick out a couple things that I don't mind, getting rid of.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I told my daughter. I said, if worst comes to worst, I know the lower end items that I can do without, and I'll just put them in the trash can.
Yeah. Not a big deal.
Put them in the trash can. Why don't you give them to someone? I was like, well, who would want them? I mean,
yeah, would you take my clothes that I can't wear?
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that.
You look like a size 12.
Not at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's for certain.
You know what comes to mind is that stupid movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, when he's trying to sell them shower curtain ring.
Yep. Those make you look like you're 21. Here you go.
Yep.
So, I made it home. I was glad. It was a long trip. It was a long day, but I made it home in one piece and had a great trip. I don't know how, because I used to go over there like on a Friday and come back on a Monday. And I don't know how I did that, because that's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Did
Roscoe and Elvis do okay?
Yeah, they did fine. They did fine. They got their nails trimmed, and they got a nice groomed and bathed and all that good stuff.
Good.
So they had a spa. They had a spa week while you were gone. In other words,
exactly.
They're living the high life.
They were glad.
Dang, I wish I could get my nails cut and somebody wash my body for me.
No kidding, right?
Comb my hair for a while.
No, but I had a really good time. We went to San Francisco, and that's really about the only place that we traveled to, and they're only about 2 hours from there. So
Yeah, that's not too bad.
no,
That's
just
good.
just the traffic part of it, you know. But it was good. It was good.
Todd says close counts in luggage and hand grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a Florida Hidden Treasure. That's a new sourcing area. Hangout it for overweight baggage to take stuff that people don't want to carry.
There you go.
Did
Oh
you
my-
see that Todd sold that Texas Ranger picture for $50?
Good. Nothing wrong with that.
That's awesome, Todd.
Yeah.
That is
That
great.
other piece with it. Yeah,
You
he
can,
had a bunch of really cool pictures the other day he was showing us.
You can
Really?
use that. Yeah, it was really neat. I mean, we knew it was a good picture, but he can use that money to pay off his auction buys.
Yeah.
Nice.
I sold a leather jacket yesterday for $45.
Nice.
Did you ever sell that really nice leather? Was it a leather jacket or leather pants or something like that? I can't remember what it was.
Once I sold for $150.
Okay.
Nice.
I sold the Indian behind me for $75 this weekend.
I seen that. I love that.
Not quite what I'd hoped to get out of him, but it's a $20 ship, so it's not terrible. I mean, I'll double my. I sold it for $75. I paid $20. It'll ship for $20, so I got $40 into it plus fees. So, I'm only making about $25 on it, but it was cool.
It's better than zero.
Yeah. Not a huge. I mean, I had a good weekend. I had 400 or 500 for the weekend, something like that.
Great.
It was over 4. I know that. And then I've already had sold some dice this morning. I thought would never sell. I mean, I just listed them this weekend and then sold for $20, and then I sold another piece of Bennington pottery for $25. So I already had like $45 for the day.
Awesome. Still waiting for mine. Come on, cha-chings.
Yeah, I messaged my mailman this morning and told him just to forewarn you.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be working today.
Well, most of your stuff was probably clothing, right?
Yeah, the majority of it is.
So it's going to go in a poly bag, so you're going to be able to get that taken out there. Hey, well, look who just popped in.
Look what the cat drug in. Yeah.
It's the Tennessee picker.
And do any picking, really.
I don't believe that.
I got a lamp, and I got a binder full of old sketches and stuff, and that was it.
Yeah, but you just have more valuable this last week than you've been buying.
I just, when I go places, I'm not always in the mood to pick, I don't know how to explain that.
You and Gabe were having a blast last week, so.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing a lot of cool stuff, and it's, he enjoys doing that kind of stuff, but it's not really, it's not really the moment where, it's not really a teachable moment. Like, hey, instead of going and having fun, since you and I are on guys' vacation together, let's go dig through a junk store,
Yeah.
I mean, the teachable moment there is every now and then you got to forget about the world and go out and do your own thing and have a blast, and then you get back and you can hit it again. I mean,
our sales, I did 5-day handling time on Monday, and then once it got down to about this last Friday, I changed everything back to 1 day, and I did the vacation holder, just so I'd have some money coming in, and we sold like $600 worth of stuff.
Dang, you got a good tan too.
I got a good tan.
Yeah, you look like you're a little burnt.
So what did y'all do, Dusty?
He and I went to Gatlinburg, and Well, we went over to Tennessee to where Danica's husband is stationed right now, so to speak. He's not in the military, but whatever. And
Right.
his current work assignment is, and stayed at the little house that he rents and saw Danica and Tristan and the girls, and then they are headed over. They're in South Carolina right now. So then Gabe and I had a couple extra days with a rental car, and I was like, where do you want to go? And he's like, I don't know. I just want to go home. And I'm like, no, we're not going home. So we went over to Gatlinburg, which is total opposite side of the state from where we are.
Cool. That's awesome.
And we had a tour. We got a tour.
You got to take that that time, you know, because they're not going to be little forever or small or teenagers or, you know. So whenever you get a chance, you got to make those memories.
So we stayed in a little historic hotel that's been there since, I don't know, 1937. That's right in the main drag of Gatlinburg. And we just hit arcades and we did the touristy things. And he's never been there. I've been there, I don't know, 3 times. Of course, it hasn't really changed any. And we just did all the cool stuff. Pretty much wore his butt out, keeping him busy. So
that's good. Kudos to you, because that takes a lot to wear a teenager out.
Yeah, it was fun. We found the arcade, which, you know, any more arcades are like little mini casinos for kids.
Yeah.
Did you spend all your credits?
He got a big old Bluetooth speaker and a big old walking stick.
Yeah.
He got something for his mom, and we got a little mini Jenga game.
Wow.
I mean, he came away with some really cool stuff.
That's awesome.
I have 28 items to ship.
I really don't have that much shipped, but it's because I had some big sales, but I have 8 to ship.
This is a week's worth of stuff.
Get
it. You get it.
Oh. I have an offer. What the hell was this for? I don't remember this.
I got to show you something I found yesterday.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Don't tell me that those are where I think they are.
Oh, close. Oh, what the heck?
Shipped to New York Post Office.
Most of it's easy stuff to ship, though. I think I'm
felt unsafe. They would not deliver. Tim said that he has a question. He said he shipped to New York. The post office carrier would not deliver to the house. All they told me was the carrier felt unsafe. They would not deliver. Anyone ever see that?
I've never heard of that, but I can understand that.
Sure.
But they've got to be. They have to notify the person somehow.
Yeah, I mean they should actually send them a letter or leave them something.
Yeah, there should have been something they dropped off in their mailbox or however they did it, or they have to maybe wait another day to go back. Maybe it's a safer situation. But
yeah, I would just kind of let it kind of work its course, you know, over there, and you know, I would notify the customer that maybe they need to go to the post office.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would tell the customer, "Hey, your post office issue is with your post office. It's not mine." I had a weird I had a guy email me about some hard drives he'd ordered, and he's like, "Ordered these on Friday, or you shipped them out on Friday," and he's like, "I was wondering when I'm going to get them." They're in Maryland right now. I thought you were in Ohio, and he's in Indiana. I'm like, well, I am, but So look at the tracking. I'm like, yeah, it says it's in Maryland, but I don't really know why. I just dropped it off. I mean, I can see where I dropped it off, and it was scanned. But post office does weird things with packages.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I really need these. I'm like, well, okay. Not a lot I can do about it at this point.
Right. Right. I mean, there's now it's up to them. It's not up to us to actually, you know, I mean, we have a service that a postal service that they're responsible for delivering those items. If they don't deliver them, then the customer needs to go and find out, you know.
Yeah, there's only, I mean, ultimately we are responsible, but there's only so much that we can do.
Right.
It's kind of a fine line, you know. We are ultimately responsible to get the package to the hands of the customer, but if there's a problem with their delivery receptacle or something like that, I mean, we, you know, they need to
yeah, they definitely need to be on top of their situation at their house. I mean, if their house is unsafe, there's nothing that you can do about it. But
And it's probably not the first time that this has happened. You know, maybe there was a dog in the front yard and the mailman didn't feel comfortable, you know, going through the gate, whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, they're probably aware that something's up. So, you know, they need to.
Oh, sorry.
They just need to, you know, push it to the customer and encourage them, you know, to investigate it.
The only one I kind of, you know, Amazon will tend to kind of take the side versus eBay, but Amazon tends to be a little more like, you should have gotten it into their hands or whatever. And I've never agreed with, you know, the old somebody must have stolen it off my front porch thing. And with Amazon, if that happens, they'll pretty much say, well, the seller's responsible. That I don't agree with. If you have a problem with the safety of your mailbox receptacle or people stealing packages, if I got it to your property and then it disappeared after that, if it shows delivered, you know, and I know the post office does make mistakes when they scan things, et cetera, et cetera. But if I have proof of delivery, proof being at least tracking or delivery confirmation, that should be the end of my responsibility, you know?
Right.
I think it's that fine line because there's so many different scenarios, you know. I've had stuff show delivered and turns out it wasn't even on my front porch. They delivered the house across the street. You know, they delivered it to the address that ends in 01 instead of 11, you know. So, I mean, but then again, I felt like that was kind of, you know, that wasn't the seller's fault. That was my responsibility to go find my package then.
Right. I think it's on a person to person or customer to customer situation. You know, I think every situation is different. Okay, Sally, show us what we got here.
It's a ghetto blaster.
Oh, cool.
that's a nice one.
I found it in the dumpster yesterday.
Wow.
Who made it?
Sold for, well, it's not exactly like this. It's a different model. Same brand, but different model. The other model had the knobs on the front right here. But mine has the knobs on the top. And same series and everything, but it sold for $247.50 on June 30th. So
Nice.
So I'm hoping to get a lot out of it.
Yeah. Does it work?
Mm-hmm.
AC/DC or just battery operated?
ACDC or Bat Out of
Both.
Hell? I mean, come on.
Both. It takes D's.
Okay.
It takes the D.
Dirty girl.
You know. You know what I mean. It takes the D batteries. That's what I meant. But yeah, I was super excited.
So many ways we could go with that.
It was in the back. I had to get in by myself, but I got in. I was like, I'm not leaving that behind. I seen it in the back, and I'm like, I got to get in there.
Had to get in so she could get the.
Yeah, a second.
It was just laying there along with a bunch of Garth Brooks on cassette.
The only thing wrong with it is its antenna is broken, which a lot of the older ones are, but unless they're in really good condition.
So how would you remedy that? I mean, how would you, if I was to buy that, how would I fix that?
You can take it apart and put a new antenna in it.
You'd have to smoke crack. Yeah. You'd have to smoke crack out of something else.
And I might have something with the antenna on it that I could replace it with, actually.
With a what? With an antenna?
I might.
Antenna? Did you just go southern there for a minute?
I know, that's what I heard. I'm like, I heard something with an antenna on it.
My friend was making fun of me the other day because I was talking about what is that fluid that goes? Oh, the antifreeze. I call it antifreeze.
I think it's called antifreeze.
Antifreeze?
Antifreeze, yeah.
No, it's antifreeze. he was like, "Why do you keep saying it like that? It's bugging me." Don't say it like that. I'm like, that's what it is. It's not for freezing, it's for anti-freezing.
Oh,
Stop making fun of me. Dillamil.
Machine.
What Sherry said, Sally say Dillamil. Dillamil. Sherry said, Sally say Dillamil.
It's Dillamil.
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 Dillamil. She must have got that the last time I had that.
That's an interesting question. Have you ever had a problem with spiders or spider bites while picking?
Jim got bit by a centipede, or not. He called it a grub, but not a lot.
That was Saturday.
That was Saturday, but I think it was at that auction we were at, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
It's something you have to be aware of. I mean, it's just like, depending on your area. I mean, there's a lot of areas that you can pick that have stuff like that. I mean, I get spiders all the time. I don't really, most of what I have around here is wolf spiders, which are big and ugly looking and hairy, but they're really not that big of a deal.
Did you say wolf spider?
Yeah, wolf spider.
Pretty sure you did.
But yeah, they're just. I don't really care that much about spiders except for when they surprise you. You open something up and there's like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" And you're like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
That's the one time I really have an issue with them. But I have my garage I need to pick and clean out, and I know it's full of spiders. So.
They got those brown recluse spiders, and we sort of have them about an hour south of us. Now, I wouldn't want to run into one of those because it makes the flesh fall off where they bite.
Oh, yeah, I mean, in America, you got two spiders you really have to be concerned about, and that's brown recluses and black widows.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, and they're pretty much everywhere anymore. Used to be black widows weren't really that far north, and they have really expanded their range. I mean, there's some that they were talking about them up in the northeast now. So.
I think we got them like in southern and in the middle of Wisconsin. I know brown recluses, we have them pretty close because I knew somebody that owned a horse that got bit by a brown recluse here on the cheek, and all that flesh fell off of its cheek. It was a big vet bill.
Yeah. I mean, that's
gross.
Necrotic. That's what they do. I mean, that's how they eat. I mean.
Yeah.
And Eric, when you come across a spider, let's be honest, you don't go, you go.
Oh, no, I scream like a little girl. Like I said, I don't mind if I see one. I'm like, oh, spider, cool. It's when you open that pack and it's sitting right here. You're like, oh, this is really neat, and he's sitting right there. The thing goes one way, I go the other. I got my skirts up around my ankles. I'm screaming. Heck yeah.
Jim got attacked by an otter once, and he screamed like a little girl.
I was alone. I mean, I was so glad I was alone because I screamed so girl. I thought it was a branch and then coming out of this hole in the ice. So I wanted to grab it and move it. When you grab a live otter's tail, man, do they wiggle and feel weird. So when this thing turned around on me, I just did the shrill girl scream. And then the thing made like a hissing sound or something, then turned around and shot right down the hole. I scared the hell out of him, and he scared the hell out of me.
You're telling an otter encounter, and he's talking about an alien encounter that almost took him away.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to anal probe me. It grabbed my tail.
They're gonna take my skin off and make it into a sock puppet. I had a friend's boyfriend who used to trap otters, and then they'd skin them. Well, when they skin them and tan them, it's like a tube of skin, and then he'd put them on his hands like this.
Oh my god!
That's just somebody's got somebody in the hole in their basement, don't they? I mean, that's.
Well, this is northern Wisconsin. This is what we do up here.
Yeah,
okay, so no self-stat.
He was not from northern Wisconsin.
So I make you guys an offer on an item on your auction thing, and I never hear back from you.
Me?
Yeah.
Where'd you make an offer on? Well, we were gone this weekend a lot.
I responded.
Oh, you did? Jim said he responded.
Yeah, I said
the response.
They're both going on the semi.
Oh, on the video. Oh. They ain't even on for sale.
No, I was talking about the holster.
Oh, that ain't listed yet. Oh, that.
Again. Going on the semi.
Yeah, I think Jim wants to keep the holster.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Just I want to keep it. But use it for the gun it's intended, not for the...
If he decides not to keep it, I'll let you know.
All right.
That's a real hand.
You get it?
I mean, they're about $80 new. So.
Yeah, well, him and gun stuff.
I know.
And I just want to say, yay, Valerie's back. And Dusty, did you do that Gatlin Mountain roller coaster?
Okay, so we went to walk to it. Talking about screaming like a little girl. So we went to walk to it, and have you been to Gatlinburg?
No.
Okay, well, it's basically one big mile-long strip with stuff on either side of the road. And of course, we're staying on the opposite end. And I pull up the Google map or iPhone map thing, and I'm like, oh, it's only 3/4 of a mile. We'll walk that. I don't tell Gabe that because he would freak out and no, can't we take an Uber or drive? So we start walking to it, and then I realize, okay, this is because it's not just, that's not a big deal for me to walk that far. It's just you're dodging people, wall-to-wall people on picture Bourbon Street, kind of almost that bad. But you're dodging wall-to-wall people, which are from all over the world. So half of them walk on the wrong side of the sidewalk. Half of them are rude, half of them are clueless. About 50% of them are just pure Tennessee rednecks that went to Gatlin, drove down the road and went to Gatlinburg for the day and drunk and clueless. So anyhow, we get about 2/3 of the way there, and we saw a brand new mountain coaster. It's called Bear something. So the guy's out front putting up the grand opening sign or whatever, which probably not the smartest thing in the world to ride a gravity-fed coaster when it's brand new. I want to wait to let him work the kinks out, but so I said something. I said, we were actually walking to the other one, and he goes, well, actually, just to toot our own horn, he goes, ours is longer, and we're the exact same price. And he goes, of course, I'm kind of biased, but he goes, I think ours is better, too. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll try it. Let me just say, you sit in a little plastic kind of thing and with a lap belt, and they take you half a mile up the mountain, and you have hand brakes. So basically, if you push down the whole way, you have no brakes. You're just going to go at gravity speed.
Yeah.
But if you get a little scared or whatever, you can let off a little bit, and it'll slow you down. So Gabe sat in front of me, like literally like straddling, almost like on a motorcycle. Like my legs are hugging on either side of him. Oh my gosh, it was like I actually wussed out a little bit. He's like, Dad, you were screaming like a little girl. I actually wussed out at one point and did the brake thing. But it was weird because like you feel like, I mean, it's like a normal roller coaster. You know, it's not going to fly off the tracks, but I mean, it felt like going around some of those curves. You're like, shit, we're going to fly off. This thing's going to fly off the tracks.
Yeah. And it's real low to the ground, isn't it? It's just a little bit off the ground.
The tracks themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was curvy and it was up through the mountain, like on the edge of the cliffs and stuff. And you're looking and you're like, okay, the only safety net is like this little piece of chain link they put up. Like, I'm going to fall off the side of the mountain. It was cool.
I want to do it, but Jim's like fucking me on it.
I like to comment, mine's longer and it's the same price. Mine is longer and it's the same price. And what in the name of God Almighty makes you think that you won't fall off this thing and that you are
safe? It had a
safe?
safety belt on it.
Okay, what? Because they had a sign up, "We're safe. You won't fly off the sides."
Well, and the mountain coaster, the one you wanted me to try, the one we were headed to, it actually somebody got hurt on it like a couple months ago or whatever, and I'm like,
spring.
huh?
I think somebody got killed on that one like this spring.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went up in the Space Needle. That's 400 feet up, and you ride up in a glass elevator, and you get up there, and you like look over Gatlinburg, which we had already done the sky lift and seen it at night. So we got up there, and it was like we kind of sat for a few minutes. We're like, okay, cool. But we found a coupon. I kind of became the master of like, let's look on Yelp and see, which always links to these places' website. Let's see if there's any coupons and if they'll honor it just by holding up your phone. So we did the Space Needle thing. It was supposed to be like $10 per person. $12.99 per. I don't know, but we found a deal for where $29.99. 2 people got to go up, and then you got $20 worth of tokens in their arcade downstairs.
Cool.
Which was cool. Gabe got enough tickets to get astronaut ice cream, which he had before, but he couldn't find anything else in their prizes that looks exciting.
Is that like Superman ice cream?
No, it's freeze-dried ice cream.
It's weird.
Oh. Huh. Very nice.
So am I the one that thinks that those mountain roller coasters are more like a bear sushi bar? Just kind of sitting there waiting for the right meal to come along.
Well, that pile of skeletons on the side of that sharp corner with a bunch of those empty carts in the woods, that ain't your skeletons.
Yeah.
When I first started seeing Jim, I used to downhill ski. So he would go downhill skiing with me, and he'd be like, at the top of the mountain, I'd be like, okay, we'll go down this one, you can handle it. It'd be like double black diamonds, which we don't have mountains here, so it's really easy. And he'd be like, no way, it's double black diamond. And there'd be like 12-year-old little kids laughing at him up at the top of the hill. He's such a wimp about that kind of stuff.
Hey, don't have no broken bones. Thank you very much.
I don't have any broken bones either.
Yeah, well.
He feels real comfortable with runs called like maple syrup and baby bear.
Yeah, I can't do any of that skiing or anything. I watched the movie Snow Beast when I was like 12, and I'm screwed up for skiing now. So
I don't do it anymore because I messed up my knee, and now I'm scared I'll wreck my knee. But it was fun.
So the last night we're there, I guess it was night. Gabe and I were both hungry, and he's like, "Oh, this looks good." It's like, I don't know, Gatlinburg's mountain ski restaurant or something. And we went in there, and they had bison burgers. You could get all their burgers in either beef or bison. And the whole place was decorated with a snow skiing theme, like stuff from the, like the Winter Olympics, and just stuff all over the walls. It was really cool. And Gabe's reading the menu, and at the bottom it says, "What to do if you see a black bear or whatever." And Gabe's like, "I know what to do. You feed it." I'm like, "You don't?" And he's grinning, like, "You don't feed it." And he's like, "Sure you do. You feed it, and then you take off running."
No.
You just make sure that you have somebody slow in your group that you can outrun.
That's right.
Yeah, because when you run, the bear's like, well, I'll eat this right now, but I'm going to chase that person down. I think they have more food.
I knew somebody that was feeding bear in his backyard, and he had kind of a low roof over a 3-season porch, and he'd get these donuts, and he'd put them in like a pie plate, these donuts, and then put them on his roof, because he liked to stand on the other side of the window and watch the bear reach up to the pie plate and then eat the donuts. I'm like, you're an idiot, because one day if you forget to put the donuts on, bears will come right through your window, and they never go out the same way they come in either, and they poop all over your house when they're in there.
And they poop all over your house, which is probably the least of your concern. But
if you're not home, you come home and your house is all tore up. That's one thing. And now you got big, huge, massive bear poop piles all over your house. That would be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I have no legs, but
well, this is
yeah.
If you're not home.
This bear pooped all over my house too.
I have no legs. How am I gonna clean up all this scat?
Chop it off.
Well, yeah, the piles are like 2 foot in diameter.
Yeah, they're like this. They're like cow pack.
It ain't like a dome. Where does the bear shit in your living room?
So yeah, it was fun. We did indoor blacklight mini golf.
That's cool.
Which I beat Gabe.
No, indoor, like inside.
Indoor, okay. That would be funnier though.
That was pretty fun. It was like you got to do that in a mirror maze for like $10 a person. I was like, perfect. The last day we were there, we did that, and then we started walking up to that Obergatlinburg, which is where the other lift is that takes you up to the. There's an ice skating rink up on the mountain, and another arcade, and all that kind of crap. And of course, then we get there and the lift is closed. Not that we necessarily wanted to do it, but I was like, yeah, we might do it. And it started rain. It was closed because it started raining. So then I'm like, okay, cool. We're like a third of a mile from our hotel. We can either try to find somewhere that sells ponchos, which everybody was sold out, or we can just sit here and go in the candy and nut store and buy junk food and sit inside and eat it. Or we can run between the raindrops, which is what we ended up doing, which didn't really work, but that's part of the fun of it. I was like, it's closed, they'll dry.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if we get a little wet? Gabe's really into magic tricks, so we found the magic store, and the magician guy was really cool. Like, he'll show you all the tricks, and he'll sit there and do them, and he's like, and I have this one for sale for this much, and this one for sale for this much. And then you can buy them, and then once you buy them, he'll show you how they're done, which is really neat.
Yeah.
So I blew like $100 in the magic trick store, but I
Did you show Gabe the doors on the ceiling?
No, I never got a chance to.
Dang it.
But I am now BFFs with the concierge there, who's really
awesome.
cool. Who said his name's Barry. He said he's totally gonna hook me up. Every time I'd walk by, there's a lot of old people staying there, so it's kind of like the old people historic hotel kind of attraction. And every time I'd walk by, he'd be like, and you got to watch that guy right there, and just start grinning. Like, I don't meet strangers. That's my thing. I just literally, if I like somebody and think they're fun, I'm going to strike up a friendship with them. So he said next time we come back, he said call me directly. We will totally hook you up with a suite or hook you up with whatever. So I was
Cool.
like, awesome. Well, it didn't hurt that he and I got to talk about TripAdvisor and Yelp and how people leave stupid reviews and how I was going to leave them a good one.
Yeah.
I was like stupid stuff. I can't remember if I told you all that the other day, but it was like stupid stuff. Like the reviews are like, the floor in our room in the front when you walk into the room was uneven. Well, yeah, the hotel's 80 years old. I mean, it's like all original. That's part of the character.
Yeah.
It smells old. Okay, really?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Brown Magic Classic, she's got 4 grandbabies coming over for the next 4 days. She's got to keep them busy. Silver Hair Stacker says build a wrestling ring with an old mattress, strap pillows on them, and make them sumo wrestlers. That sounds like fun.
Son of a gun.
Let's be done. Owned by you. Yeah.
So I sat down last night and went through Facebook and unfriended pretty much everybody. So I guess I'll go ahead and announce this publicly before anybody freaks out and feels like they did something wrong. It's not anything personal. I don't know. I did a lot of kind of soul searching this week too on what's important and what's not important in life. Well, I'm just totally getting the show all serious now. About what's important and what's not important in life, and where my time is best spent, and I don't know. I just feel like I'm behind in my business versus where I could be, if that makes sense, and that I'm letting social media suck me. I mean, Eric can tell you, I've been like this for a while. I've been griping for a while that, and I don't like who I've become. I feel like I'm very catty and snooty, and I don't like all the YouTube drama. Okay, now we just went south. All the YouTube drama. YouTube reselling is not what it used to be. This show's great, but I'm just kind of over all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm to that point where I don't know. I may or may not walk away. I need to talk to Tristan when she gets home in a day or two. And I mean, it doesn't mean we're not going to continue doing videos. I really don't know if we will or won't.
Yeah. I completely understand. I mean,
Sometimes
you just have to do whatever's best for you, and the majority of the time, that's what your goal is you got to take care of you got to take care of your family, and you can have friends, and you can have acquaintances even, but and you have to, sometimes you just have to cut ties and concentrate on yourself and your family and your business.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. That's one of the reasons why I don't watch most videos on YouTube. I just don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you don't watch them, you still get sucked into stuff, I mean,
I get sucked in every now and then, but you know what? I mean,
and we're all guilty of that. Hey, did you see what so-and-so did? Or did you see what so-and-so? I mean, we're all kind of guilty of that to a certain extent.
We'll sit back and chat about things and things like that. But I mean, it's one thing to dedicate hours of time listening or watching YouTube. I just don't do it. I know a lot of people have it on the background, but for me, I don't care. I mean, it's I love everybody out there, but I don't get that involved with things. I've got my own life to worry about. And so, yeah, it's interesting every now and then. So you pick up occasional ideas and things like that, but otherwise, there's nothing new that's out there. So you can watch a video from 2 years ago, and you're going to get pretty much the same thing. So,
well, and there's only so much you can. And this is going to sound horrible, but there's only so much you can learn. I was talking to somebody about it last night, and it's if you're new, that might be a totally different story. There's probably a lot to learn. But, I watch the Terminal 99. I talk about him all the time. I watch him because I learn something new every video. It's like a little mini Antiques Roadshow kind of thing, but at the same time, if I watch some, I mean, I love this show. Don't get me wrong. Wow, I'm totally going downhill on this one, and it's going to sound horrible. But if you watch it's one thing to have like this one. This is kind of just an awesome group, and I love the morning show. But it's a lot of these, like, we're going to discuss this and that and the other, and it's like,
it's already been discussed.
I mean, I don't mean to sound like I know it all, but like, what am I really going to learn?
Yeah, that's why I said the best videos out there are auction or haul videos and what I sold videos. Haul videos just to see what's out there, to prove that there's still stuff out there, and then the what I sold videos are showing what you got for it. To me, those are the best. Those are the only ones you can really learn, that can really expand your business, to open your eyes. You just don't have to go be a clothing reseller, or you don't have to be a Smalls reseller. There's other things out there, and I think those are the best ones out there. And my chat is going up and down constantly. But yeah, that's to me, that's what it's all about. Is you get decent. There's some decent content out there, but yeah, people who have the same old, hey, this is what I'm doing, and you know, what's best, free shipping or calculated or flat rate, all that stuff. This has already been discussed 100 times.
It's a little different too from a content creator standpoint, because it's hard. It's really, really tough to not pay attention to all the other everything else that's drama or whatever that's going on around you, because that is kind of, as a content creator on YouTube in a reselling community, you are kind of, unless you just have total blinders on, you are going to be kind of subjected to a lot of whatever.
That's why I have total blinders on. I really don't care what anybody says about me.
That's me too. People can go fuck themselves if they don't like what I say or how I stand, because this is how I am, and I think everybody on here knows that's the way I am, and that's why they like me. Yeah. If they don't,
then what?
This is my house. If you don't like it, you can get the fuck out. In the words of Eddie Murphy. No, seriously, that's basically, that is how we feel about things, and Valerie, she's not as blunt as I am, but she knows where the door's at and she'll take them there.
Yeah.
I'll show you the door.
People was to start shit in the chat or whatever, and she knows how to hit that kick button, and she knows she'll get them right out of there, because it's one thing to have an opinion about something. It's another thing to force it down somebody else's throat. So, that's just
and
how
that's
it is.
That, when we talked about the show, creating it, that's what we didn't want, topics. We didn't want, that. We wanted it to be like a freestyle, and yeah, there's sometimes where there's some dead air out there, but I think between all of us that come on, which I appreciate you guys coming on every morning, I really do, because I don't think it's I think it's all of us that make the show. I don't think any one person, but I don't want that for the show. That wasn't my intention for the show, is to have topics that they are talking about. That doesn't interest me. What interests me is what you got what did you sell over the weekend? What did you get the offer? What did you get at the bin? What did Sally get in the dumpster? It's all those things. Those are the cool things. And and then just life in general. Everybody has things that go on in their life. And, I feel like we're friends. There's things that come up. I just don't. I don't know. That was my.
Sorry, I didn't mean to suck the whole show down the tube. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, I'm just frustrated. I've had pot shots taken at me privately for the last 2 years. Little comments and things, and I don't watch that stuff, but of course, it somehow always finds its way back. Hey, did you see where? So, and it's like what Tristan said something the other day, to me that kind of hit home when we were up in Tennessee visiting her, and before Gabe and I had to go on to Gatlinburg, and I've totally lost those. And she goes, it's some days, she goes, it just reminds me of a bunch of 16-year-old girls. She goes, I don't get it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
She said, even the guys. She said, it's easy. I understand it's easy not to be sucked up in it, but she goes, I don't get it. She goes, I don't get the. the drama and stuff, I guess.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. She's got a good, you know, when your wife speaks, sometimes that's a good point to listen.
I've never really understood the whole clickiness and the cattiness that goes along with that.
Here's where I'm at, basically. When I look back on what my life was 2.5 years ago, wow, this is going to totally come out wrong, but oh well. You know, pre-YouTube and reselling community and whatever, I got up every morning. I did like I'm doing now. I mean, I love this show, don't get me wrong, because, and this is not at all toward this show, but you know that, because I can still work and do things while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But when I look back to where I was, I got up every morning and I shipped my packages. And then I immediately started listing and I worked and I had more money than, well, not more money than I knew what to do with, but you know, it was a real business. It was treated like a real business. You know, if you went into a real business and you got there every morning, you're like, well, you know, this afternoon, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to watch TV for 2 hours, you know, TV, AKA YouTube, you know, you get fired from your job.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm just going to sit around. I don't know. I feel like I'm not choosing, and it's a lot of it's within me. I'm not always choosing to spend my time wisely. And that's a weakness of mine.
It's really easy to get sucked away from this job. I mean, working for yourself is the hardest thing in the world. Because
if you're not,
no one to hold you accountable but you. And if you have that type of personality that enjoys people, but then, you know, you sit there and you get, like I said, just watching YouTube, it's really easy to have time to slip by. It's the same thing with Facebook. It's really easy to sit down with Facebook and just flip through it for the next 2 hours and then hit that refresh button and go flip through for another hour the stuff they already got updated. It's really easy to suck away 3 or 4 hours out of every day. And again, there's nobody here to keep you accountable. Yourself.
Well, I was going through unfriending last night, which is really not a big deal because when I accepted people's friend requests, I immediately hit unfollow. So if I hit home on my Facebook page, it literally shows nothing but the Alabama Pickers group. Because everybody else, even y'all, even you're my friends. So if I want to know what Valerie's doing, I had to actually physically go look at her page. So for me to unfriend everybody is really not a big deal because you didn't show up in my main feed anyhow. But I was going through that list and I was like, 3/4 of the people on there, I have no clue who they are. Like, why am I their friend?
Yeah.
Like, because they saw me on a show one time 2 years ago or what? I mean, like, what am I started looking at it and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why do I have 250 something friends, 75% of which I don't even know who they are? What is that all about? Is that, you know? So I don't know. That sounded Mr. C. So that sounded, I don't know. That sounded totally shitty, but
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, there's definitely people on my page that, you know, are on my profile or whatever that I, you know, am friends with. I don't know who they are.
But I left all the groups except my own group. So don't anybody take that personally. I'm not in Thrift and Bitches anymore. I'm not in Happy Hour anymore. And I talked to Jim about it last night. He's like, I don't care. It's not a big deal. But it was like, you know, it's really time. To be totally honest, the only reason I left Facebook up at all is because otherwise I would have no way to get a hold of the 6 or 7 of y'all here, you know, that I do hang with on a regular basis.
Right.
I mean, it could probably be done. Like we could talk to Google Plus or something. I don't know, but
you don't want to get rid of it all because you never know. You may down the road you may want to go back in and add some new friends or something. I mean, you meet locally stuff. I mean, you never know. So there's no reason to kill it all. But again, Facebook is always.
What if I did? Would it really? I mean, other than making it hard to get a hold of y'all, like I said, that's the only reason it's still hanging on. You know, I have one person on my friends list that I actually know that's not, and y'all are friends. God, this is all coming out wrong. but
Not reseller related.
that's not a reseller, and it's the one person that I've talked to, a guy named Dan, that I have talked to. It's the one person. 27 years ago, I graduated high school. It is the one person that I still have kept in touch with after high school. Haven't talked to anybody else in 27 years. And that's it. There's no family. There's no friends. As a matter of fact, I have my father-in-law and my sister and everybody else blocked, so I don't pop up on their suggested feeds and they see my name. And, you know, then of course, if I befriend my sister or friend request my sister, then it's going to show up on her friends and her friend, you know, and I don't care. I don't care. Like if I want to know what my sister's doing, we have a group text on our phone with my parents and all my brothers and sisters, and I'll know what's going on. I don't need all that.
Yeah.
The amount of time, here's where I'm at. The amount of time that I have spent, there's a message from the buyer. I always love that. The amount of time that I have spent with, and I do love helping people, and that's why we've always done videos, but the amount of time that I've spent doing videos and a group and things like that versus what I actually get out of it. And yeah, that sounds selfish, but it's the truth. What I actually get out of it as far as like AdSense revenue or whatever, I could be making so much more in my business if I put all that stuff aside. And that's just being brutally honest, and that's the truth. And I think there's a point where I have to do what's best for me.
That's the bottom line right there.
I don't know. Do you ever go, you've been away for a week. Do you ever go away for a week and just kind of do like Blackberry Thistle Tea is saying, and your vacation was well spent, great time to reflect and come back refreshed?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely miss doing the show. I miss, talking to everyone. Even though I came on the show a couple of times and just was in the chat, I still miss that. And I was ready to go this morning. So, there's definitely times, like on my YouTube, I don't want and I actually need to go through and kind of clean that up, because there's just some people that I'm not interested in anymore. I need to really take an axe and go through and clean it up, because I just have no desire to listen to them, and they're usually the people that cause the most drama. And so I can choose that. I have that option, just like everybody has an option if they want to watch us or not. So, and Facebook's a little bit different, because I can never get rid of that, just because of the kids and the grandkids, and I have a lot of feelings with that. So I just try not to get drama.
And don't get me wrong, I never would have met y'all. I never would have met, a lot of people in the audience, a lot of really awesome people. I never would have met if it weren't for, me getting on Facebook for the reselling. Because Tristan and I quit Facebook we'd quit it for like 3 years at the point that the reselling community, there's that buzzword again, kind of moved toward the, the whole Facebook communities and all that stuff happened. Well, I mean, it was the reseller society. It was the reseller society that Chad and Ronnie and Elena and the Gilmans all started, because I used to watch their videos, and they started the reseller society. And I looked at Tristan and I said, "Oh, I want to join that. I'm gonna have to start a Facebook page." She's like, "Okay." And when I look back, and that was 3 years ago, when I look back at it, I don't really like who I've become. I don't feel like I'm true to myself. I let myself get caught up in a lot of things. And I think for me, the easiest way out of a situation, if I don't have the easiest way out of bad situations is just cut it off and start over fresh. That's what works.
Right.
That's what works for me personally sometimes, you know?
Yeah, you're talking about how it affects how you handle things. It's not a slam against anybody else or anything else. It's the way
No. But I know that that's one of my weaknesses is getting caught up in it's like a train wreck. If it's a train wreck, I can't not look at it, you know?
Yeah.
That's a character flaw of mine. I've got to get serious about losing weight. I quit drinking. I haven't drank anything, I don't know, probably 2 weeks. And I've dropped another 5 pounds. So I know where all that weight was coming from. You know, I don't need that. I don't have to drink to be happy. Doesn't mean I'm never going to have a drink. It's not anything like that, but you know.
And I think it's good to kind of, you know, do like an evaluation on your self-evaluation on yourself, and you know, who you are, a person that you become, you know, because we all evolve and we all, you know, things change and you know, we get involved in other things that you know, over the years, and you know, sometimes I think we have to kind of step back and say, yes, this is good for me. Yes, these are my priorities. These are the things that I need to work on to better myself. And I think it's good for everybody to do.
Yeah.
Some people may not do it, but I do that pretty regularly. I just kind of, if I notice that I'm, you know, not doing well, I'm depressed or whatever, you know, I kind of have to step back and say, you know, what am I doing wrong? Or who am I talking to that's bringing me down? Or, you know, just kind of evaluate everything.
I mean, I've had really bad habits of my sleeping habits have been horrible. Staying up late, watching stuff on my phone at night. I have a wife that sleeps with earplugs. That's not fair to her. And I realized that was one of those introspection kind of things I did this week. I'm like, she shouldn't have to sleep with earplugs. She shouldn't have to wear a sleep mask because the light from my phone. So for the last, you know, about 2 weeks, I've been not having anything on in bed, you know, making it a little tough to sleep, but it's just, you know, it's like anything else. It takes about 3 weeks to break a habit, or 28 days or whatever they say, you know, to form a habit. So I just need new habits. I've been getting up earlier. You
look really good today.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell you that when you first came on. I mean, you look thinner, you look more energetic. Usually, you know, this time in the morning, you're just like, don't talk to me.
Well, that's because I've been up for an hour or more, you know? Probably 2 hours.
I mean, you look really good. And I think that's great. Keep it up.
You know, Tristan and I used to get up every morning and sit on the porch. Of course, we smoked back then, so it was a whole lot easier. Those were the good days. But, you know, we used to get up every morning. We used to sit on the porch and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and just sit and talk. And it's like we don't do that anymore. She gets up and gets on her phone, and I get up and jump to see what's going on YouTube or in the Pickers group. And then I fall down a rabbit hole for 2 hours with that crap. You know, and it's like, that needs to stop. That is 2 hours every morning that we've wasted, where not that we have to sit and talk for 2 hours, but where we could have been communicating, you know? We could have been planning our day. Okay, what do we need done? How are you feeling? What are your, you know, fears and concerns and worries? And what do you need help with today? And, you know, she and I think, as a result of my overzealousness in a lot of other areas, have kind of had a breakdown in communication. The other Jason Hover said, 2 weeks without Val was enough to make Dusty reevaluate his life.
Aww.
And don't get me wrong, none of that's like, I love this. This show helps me. God love y'all. This helps me get up. It helps me get going. You know, if you don't mind my occasional tape gun, because it's honestly, it's a pain in the ass to sit here and hit the mute button every time I run a strip of tape. If I'm only taping a lot, I usually try to mute myself. But, you know, I love that aspect of it, but it's not anything like that. I know it all came across that way. Sometimes my words don't come out right.
All right. Yeah.
You've
I
only
hate it
been
when-
on YouTube like 2.5 years.
Uh,
You've only been on YouTube like 2.5 years.
I don't really. I'd have to go back and look. That's a good question. It's probably been
Like-
3 years.
Oh, it just seems like you've been around for forever.
Seems like you're really old.
No, because we're like the same age, but it does seem like you've been doing it a longer time than that.
And it's not what it used to be, and that's not, you know, it's just, there's some people that are really, you know, this show has stayed really good, and there's some people, like I'd mentioned Terminal 99 before, you know, I don't think he even probably watches any other videos. He wouldn't have a clue. You know, he does his videos and then he goes and takes care of his business. That's good. You know, he's a strong enough willed person to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say, you know, that I enjoy having something in the background. So, and it sounds crazy, but you know, sometimes I'll just put our show, not to be like, you know, bragging or anything, but sometimes I'll put our show, like an old show, on, you know, and just listen to the things that we talked about, you know, when we first started. You know, things that I can see how I have evolved just from starting to coach 6 months ago to now. You know, I didn't talk all of it, and I talk a lot more now. You know,
She sounds like she went in a hole.
Yeah, you're echoing really bad, Valerie.
I think it was. Talk again.
Hello, testes, 1, 2, 3.
Now you sound fine.
I
Mr.
went down
Sadie,
that hole, came out the other end.
Mr. Sadie said it best. If I worked on my eBay every time I got the urge to watch YouTube, or in my case, like Facebook group, I would be doing much better. Exactly. You know,
Yep.
I could literally, you know, I talk about how, oh, I work 24/7 or whatever. And the reality of it is, and Eric can attest to that, because a lot of times in hangouts or whatever, if I do a 12-hour day, I bet you 3 hours of it are actually spent working. And that is 9 hours that I waste. I mean, my God, how much money would I have if I spent those other 9 hours more wisely, not jacking around and looking stuff up and following around. And,
A great example of that was last week. I mean, you were gone to Sally had a listing show where we were just going to be listing on the show, and it was supposed to be from 9 to 1, and I probably worked 2 hours on that show, if that. And that's because I was getting phone calls, I was doing other things, you get distracted, you start yapping. And so you take a 4-hour thing and it was cut in half immediately. I still put up 17 items, but it's one of those things where you're like, boy, if I just stay focused, I could have done, 35 items.
Yep.
So you have to kind of, that's, I said, I work all the time, but I work for 3 or 4 hours a day.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things you have to kind of that's that and you move on, or you refocus it and try to work. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to work 8 straight hours in this type of work when you're by yourself 90% of the time.
Well, and that's the thing too is that, I mean, you may be at your computer for 8 hours or whatever and be doing, it's not all It's not all productive. That's the wrong way. No, you're thinking stuff, you're researching stuff, you're putting hours into it. And sometimes it doesn't that go up. You know what I mean?
There's some waters out here.
I didn't understand half of what you said. I don't know if I'm the only one who's hearing you like this, but it's like I can hear you and then I can't and then I can.
Hold on, muting Tara for a second. That's what it is. It's her fan in the background. It's making it. It's her fan is Tara's fan is overpowering. Go ahead, now say it.
Testes, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you're fine.
Because I keep
No,
hearing
you're
this like, and I think it's sorry, Tara. I had to mute you.
Okay.
I think you may have used too many big words for Sally too. Number one.
I just moved a whole thing of clothes because I couldn't find a tape. and so I'm like, oh, that's good stuff. I need to list that. Dang it.
Yeah. I mean, I was the same way. I mean, I got Facebook. I mean, Queen City Picker talks about getting Facebook to stay close to friends and family, and then next thing you know, the thing is taking on a life of its own. I looked at mine the other day, and I have 228 friends, and I don't really think I know 228 people.
True.
Queen City Picker said, I got a Facebook page to stay connected with close family and friends. During the election season, I almost deleted my account. If I want your political views, I will tell you what your views are. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of cattiness, and that's one of the reasons I'm not friends with my father-in-law or whatever else, and I don't follow people. Because some people use it as their personal, like, I don't feel like I have a voice, so here's my voice. And that's great. Everybody's entitled to their own political opinions or whatever, but some people just shove them. And my father-in-law is bad about that. You know, if you're not on my side, you're wrong. You know, and I think that, you know, you look at all the tension we have in this world anymore, but you look at how people act on Facebook and on social media in general. You know, people that normally probably wouldn't have had a voice or been afraid to step up. I think that can be a good thing. But God, we're some hateful people. I mean, we really, as in general, as a society, are kind of hateful to each other.
See, I'm not a hateful person, and you know, I could tell people to go F off or whatever, without feeling bad about it. But I do feel like everybody does have a voice. Everybody has an opinion. And, you know, if you have a Facebook page and you want to put that opinion on your Facebook page, that's great. Don't bring it on mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's exactly.
No, and
I was just gonna say,
don't go into a reselling group and all of a sudden turn everything when it was a discussion about reselling. Don't turn it into your personal soapbox for your and that one. We ended up kicking a couple people out after that last election thing. I just got tired of it. There was someone who shall remain nameless that had done that. I had watched it for 2 years, and I was like, nope, she's not going to do that in this group. Not doing that shit anymore. And then, of course, I get a message from her, you know, like, you never struck me as someone that would censor people. No, I'm not censoring. I'm just tired of putting up with your crap. I don't care what your views are.
Right.
And you know what? You have a whole group to defend. You know, like,
Nobody
you gotta watch.
Either.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the whole group. You can't just watch for their side of the story or their opinion. You know, that side of their opinion. You can't do that. You can't pick sides, and you shouldn't have to. You know, and you know, I don't want to make it sound like I don't care about anybody in, you know, in our group or in Dusty's group, because I do. I care for a lot of people in both groups. And I love, you know, the morning show and all the people in it. I don't feel like that we have, you know, any bad people in here or any people that, you know, do shove opinions down other people's throats. It seems very neutral in here.
Right.
And I think everybody knows that that's the way we want to keep it. It's neutral.
And I think that's what
And,
every,
you know,
I think that's what everybody else wants, and the show is to be that neutrality, one. You have the freedom to speak and say your thoughts, but
yep.
you'll get shut down if you start pushing that on somebody else. You know, it ain't gonna work. And you know me, I'm like the trigger happy person.
Yeah.
But everybody already knows that.
I mean, what, Valerie?
Everybody is, I like to let's see here. We're gonna do that. There you go.
Did Tara just leave?
Is Valerie the grown up?
Is she
Is that
the
what
grown up?
Thelma Thrift is saying? That's fine with me. I'm a total kid. I know that.
Well, so am I. I mean, I don't think I'm. I don't know.
I'm still 21.
You are not 48. You know that?
Bullshit. Oh my gosh.
My oldest. I always wanted to be the oldest.
Shut up, Valerie. No, hey, that's fine with me.
So I am glad to be back. And I'm glad to, getting that really helped a lot this week. Getting all those sales that I did. I mean, that really helped a lot. I did some listing while I was there. I didn't have, of course, I didn't have all of my equipment, but I still did some listing, and I just kind of made the best of it. And then, I was happy to be able to be on vacation and still, get the sales and get home and get everything shipped. So
yeah,
that was a good thing.
Yeah, you did really well while you were gone.
So I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I really had to be careful about, my daughter wanted to go back to the bins like the day I left, and I was like, yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. I don't want to risk having to send that stuff home and all that.
Nice.
So
it's nice that you found some bins that are actually worth going to, and
yeah.
So that's a viable option if you're down in that area.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the bins up here, up where I'm at, I went there once. I didn't feel like it would ever be worth going back again. I mean, I'm sure there's good stuff there. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the nice thing about the bins. I mean, it's a place to go. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, it's great as well.
Well, I was kind of thinking about it the other day, and I was like, well, the bins to and this is my thought, the bins to a clothing seller is like an auction to a hard goods seller.
Kind of. I
Pretty,
mean, you can get quantity for cheap dollars. Yeah.
exactly. And that's the way, you know, you're paying minimal money for several items, you know, so it's similar, you know.
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, I can see you're maximizing your dollars that you spend, and there's nothing really wrong with that. Believe me.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, I enjoy doing clothes. I mean, that they're plentiful. There's always going to be clothes out there. There's always going to be buyers out there that are looking for clothes. And so I figure if I enjoy it and I can, you know, make my listings quickly and do all of that, then, you know, why not?
No, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Remember that big mixer that I took apart?
Yeah.
I sold 2 small boards out of it, and I'm really hoping that I think I brought all the small pieces to the mixer home, but if not, I got to drive to the warehouse and go dig them out for a whopping $12 a piece.
Yeah, but let's see. You paid $10 for that mixer?
Yeah, but I hate driving all the way out there for $24.
Yeah, but it might be time. You might need to drive out there just to reevaluate. Since reevaluate what you have out there as well. So, and the post office not that far, so you can always just leave your stuff there and then drive out there and grab something, drop off at that post office.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I have this feeling they're not here. They're on a shelf out there.
It was a good buy on that mixer.
Yeah, what I think I paid $10 for the whole thing.
Yeah, $10. You made hundreds off of it.
Still selling knobs off of it. And it was fun taking it apart. £1. Where's this going? I'm sure it's going to Washington State. Oh, freaking is. Of course it is.
Yep, that's the way it works.
1 pound's 3 ounces, so it's going to be 2 pounds. $9.97. A regional A 1028. Guess what? I have no small boxes. I don't have any of the 666 or 665.
You put an order in. I'm gonna need to order some small ones. I'm almost out as well.
Overdue for bubble wrap. I need to go buy bubble wrap. I need to see if Jim.
Hey, did you get the Walmart bubble wrap deal?
No.
Did you hear about it?
What was it?
I'll show you. It's the small bubble, which is annoying, but
Oh, I hate small bubble. Never mind.
so it's better than nothing at least. But the 24 was 2 feet wide stuff, 24 by 150.
24 by 150. Okay.
$7 a roll.
Wow.
They're clearing out their Duck brand stuff. It's been all over the different boards, and I actually checked on Brickseek and found it. And it's usually not on the shelf. You usually have to say, get somebody to get it out of the back room.
Oh.
I bought 5 rolls. Actually, the only bad thing is it's small bubbles, so you're going to use a lot more of it.
So that's 300 square feet.
Yeah, 300 square feet.
So it's 300 square feet. I get 1,000 for 50. So it's not a bad deal. If you like the small bubble.
I bought 1,500 square feet and I spent about $35.
Nice.
So I mean, that's not. I mean, it's not a smoking deal or anything, but it's not bad. And it's.
Was that a .com thing or an in-store thing?
No, it's in the stores, but it's usually not on the shelf. It's usually in the back room. But yeah, check your BrickSeek and see if it's on there. I'll give you the UPC.
Hang on just a second. Let me get over there. Oh my God, what did I just do? I have a lot of tabs going on now.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Members
only, Walmart, check inventory. All right, go ahead.
Okay, the UPC is 075-353-148-273.
If anybody's not familiar with BrickSeek, it's brick, as in like a brick, seek, SEEK.com. And it'll show you current inventory in, what is it, like Lowe's, Home Depot, Toys R Us, Walmart.
It's last night's closing inventory.
It's what?
It's last night's closing inventory. Whatever they closed last night, it's not current. So that's why because if you're going to look at something that's hot and you look in BrickSeek and say, oh, there's 25 of them there, you get to the store, they say, hey, we're sold out. Well, they could have sold out that morning.
I'm at all the stores near me that are $7 are out. They're all at $13 and $21.
Yeah. So
unless I want to drive to Scottsboro. But do I want to drive 32.5 miles away? It's actually about 45 minutes there.
How many do they have? That's the key.
You got 16 of them.
The
problem with small bubble is I end up using twice as much.
Yeah.
So really, whatever I have in it, I have to double that.
Yeah. For me, I have big bubble, and I have one small roll of small bubble. I like to have both because sometimes the small bubble helps me get my smalls into a regular. If I use big bubble, sometimes it doesn't fit the packaging anymore. That I can send it in, so I use small bubble for stuff like that. But for that price, I can double. I can't get it that cheap, even if I get it on, because I can't get it locally wholesale. I mean, you've got a great connection for yours. I don't have that connection.
Have anybody near you that there's not a warehouse supply? Or
I actually found one that I thought was going to be good. I called them up, wanted to make arrangements to pick it up, and it turns out they order it, and I have to come in and pay for them. They'll order it, and then they'll send it to me, and the cost of shipping is like double what the price of the stuff is. I'm like, it just pissed me off. So. Yeah, I got nobody in town. I mean, that's the biggest, and they're a box supplier and everything. And I thought, man, I got a local connection. I can work with that. Nothing.
Messed up. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. So I go through about 750 square feet of big bubble and probably 300 square feet of small bubble. So about 50 bucks a month.
Last time I bought 1,000 feet, I mean, it's been a while. I mean, it's probably lasted me. Of course, I haven't sold a whole lot, in the last couple of months. I've been taking time off, from vacation mode. I never came out of vacation mode. That's my problem.
Well, no, I mean, one thing about that, you came back from vacation, you really had a week before you had to go back out, and Chris is on her way. And
the last 3 or 4 months, we've had 2 people die, 2 close, family members. It's just been horrible. And I've just kind of taken some time off, and I don't have regrets over that. But it's time to kind of get the ox out of the ditch, as my dad used to say. And
yeah.
And
well, we haven't hardly done any night hangouts or anything like that. You've been so busy doing all your other stuff. I mean, not like we used to. We used to get a lot of work done on those hangouts too. But you haven't been buying it.
I could split that bubble wrap with Jim. I mean, $50 is not a big deal. But it's just going to sit in the garage, and if he needed it, that would help him.
Yeah, you might give him a call and find out if he's
Needs it.
if he needs it. I mean, and give him a call, find out how many. If they have all 16 rolls, that would cost you.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about. I'm not.
Oh.
It's not a bad deal, like I said, but I'm going to use twice as much.
Yeah. Are you talking about going back to your wholesaler and pick up?
Go back to my whole, buying the 4 250-foot rolls of, that come in the big huge bundle for $50.
Yeah.
Nice one. Silver Hair Stacker said that looks like all the Duck brand stuff is way discounted. I wonder if
they're getting out of Duck brand and they're actually doing their own stuff. They're going to have their own Walmart brand, bubble wrap and boxes and stuff like that.
Which never made any sense to me why they didn't, because it's free advertising.
Yeah.
Put Walmart shipping supplies or Walmart moving supplies.com or something on the side. I don't know. Put Walmart on the side of it. Have them made for less than what Duck brand is probably charging them. Free advertising.
Yeah, I mean that's why eBay went with their eBay box, free advertising. But it's a good. I mean, if you use a lot of small bubble, it's a good deal. You can find out if it's near you, and don't be afraid to ask. Because I had to ask at my school. And the good thing is I know there's also 7 more rolls over there if I ever need to go pick them up, because they'll never bring them out.
Megan was asking how much it costs. All that
You went really quiet again.
I won't talk then.
No, now I can hear you go. I just can't hear what you're saying. It goes really quiet for some reason.
That is weird. Megan was asking about the videos, how much it costs or how much you get paid and things like that. You don't get paid a lot unless you have like millions of subscribers, and you have to have quite a few subscribers and put up videos and have good content, and so there's a lot of things that go along with that.
You can make money. You can make money off of YouTube, and anybody that tells you can't is lying. But you don't get paid until your AdSense revenue hits $100 in any given month or a cumulative running total. It took us over a year to hit that first $100. Now, after that point, you will have built a decent subscriber base if you have good content. People, you can make money doing it, but it's just, is it really worth your time? I mean, if you're going to edit videos and do this and that, spend a bunch of time doing it, and oh, I don't like that, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to put in a fancy intro and all that stuff. Is it worth the time per hour? Probably not.
Yeah, she says
you're not going to see any revenue off of for at least the first year.
Right.
So you really have to do it because you enjoy doing it.
I actually like it because it was out of my comfort zone. Like, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And I still am, when I'm doing like haul videos, they are not good at, I'm not good at haul videos at all. But, I keep doing them, and I want to get, I want to do more of them because I know that's what people like to watch. They like to see what people get, and what they sold for, and things like that. I want to do more of that, but I think it's good. I think it's just a good personal. I wouldn't say education, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's just it's a personal
Experience.
Goal. Yeah. I mean, it's something that you learn to do. I had to learn how to do the show because I had no clue. Sally is the one that really showed me how to, get everything online, and Dusty, helped me with the links because, we all know that those weren't going through very well. I mean, it's just something I like to learn things. I like to educate myself on things, and if I don't know how to do something, I want to learn that. So yeah, I mean, I would, whatever you're basing it on, I would definitely do a couple videos and see what you think. Maybe run it by a friend of yours and have them watch it and get some criticism, and then go for it. And the thing is, the more you do it, the better you get. So
Megan asked. Oh, sorry.
She said she can't see you. Oh, she's only going to do a 10-minute. Hey. And then as you continue going on, doing them, they may get longer. They may get longer. They may be a little more information that you can put with those. So they may be, a 30-minute segment. So
You should just not move your head, Valerie.
I think that's what it is for real.
I think so too.
Megan asked. Megan asked, is it views or likes or subscribers or what? Here's what AdSense, which is the behind the scenes. Here's what AdSense really likes. It likes to see activity. It's kind of like Cassini. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Both of them show that people interacted. Comments. I always try to reply. I'm like 3 weeks behind, but I used to always try to reply to everybody's comment, even with, if nothing else, thanks for watching. It's about your watch through rate, which is one of the analytics you can look at in your back end of YouTube. When you do an hour-long video, if you do an hour-long video riding in the car, and it's why I've never really cared how many subscribers we had, because I want the subscribers that we have to be there for a reason, because I want them to watch all the way through. I'm going after the audience of subscribers of people that want to watch me riding in the car and watch Tristan at Walmart and watch, here's what we picked up today. Here's what we did. Here's what real life. That's my base. Because if I had double the subscribers and then half of them watched that video and watched it for about 60 seconds and said, oh, this sucks, and then clicked off of it, that looks horrible to YouTube. It's about watch through rate. You really want to figure out what audience you want to go after and go after that audience, and then do what they want to see or what you enjoy doing ultimately. Because if you don't enjoy doing it, it's going to become a pain in the butt.
Right.
Oh, 10-inch by
That's what I was gonna say. You have to enjoy it, and you have to make sure that it's going to be worth your time, because it's going to take some time. Even it's just 10-15 minute videos.
We do it for goof around fun. I don't ever really see us making any money at it. And I will say, like, Jim's family loves watching them, so to us it's just like a goof around thing.
fun. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any subscribers. I mean, I think I got like 50 or something. So, I mean, it's just something for us to goof around with.
But I think you know that because it's fun, you'll continue to do them. That's what you know. That's what I think.
That's how you make a big box.
You know, and that's the thing also is, yeah, if you want to make money with YouTube, like Dusty said, yes, you can make money, you know, on YouTube and everything. It's going to be your main thing. So if you're with eBay and you're trying to do reselling video, I mean, it's going to take away from your eBay business because you're not going to be spending your time.
And I think that's why it's easy for me to be critical with the whole, you know, new generation of YouTubers that are now coming onto YouTube in the last year or so, doing all these videos that are a lot of fluff. And if that's what people want to watch, they can watch it. But as somebody that does it, I know what kind of money I make off of YouTube. With way less subscribers and the same commercial placement about the same time. Some of them are even going, I usually try to go every 12 to 15 minutes. If it's a longer video, I'll do it 15 minutes. So it's not flooded with commercials. But I'm looking at some of these people and they're doing like every 8 minutes on long videos. And then I look at their subscriber base and they've got 10 times what I do. And I'm like, I know what kind of money they're making. I can tell you right now what kind of money they're making. And then I think seeing that, knowing that behind the scenes, that's why it's easy for me to get maybe sucked up in the drama and whatever, because I know why they're pumping out. There's one of them that he did 45 videos, or I think it was 42 videos in 30 days, and half of them were just bullshit. You know, it was just talking about nothing, you know, and he refers to everybody as his fans or whatever. I mean, first of all, I've never been comfortable with that. That's just weird. Like, I don't want fans, you know, and I watched that and I go, okay, today he did a video on like that, there was no content there. He's doing it just to make money, you know.
The problem I have with most of those the newer ones are simply going back there and regurgitating other things that people say on videos just for their subscribers. They're not really doing the work. I mean, there's people out there that are, you know, oh, I hired an employee, and why would you hire an employee? You don't have the business volume that you need an employee. You did it because you need to have the time now to go out and make videos, and you it's a great revenue stream. I don't care about that, but you're not teaching anything new. You're just basically, you wait till, it's funny, here's the thing, watch when somebody puts out a video and then within a week everybody will have a video kind of the similar thing.
Yeah. But I think what makes me sad is then when I look, there's so many people that are new to this and desperate to try to make money getting into eBay, or, you know, just try to pay the bills and keep the lights on. And then I look and people are just going, oh my God, they're the greatest, they're the greatest. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, as somebody that's resold and been in the reselling business for 20 years, no, they're really not. Yeah. There's nothing, I'm going to tell you, that business model isn't going to work. It isn't going to work unless you are a really good manager and maybe hire employees or whatever, like y'all were talking about 10K dude the other day. That could probably work. But, you know, the rest of it I'm seeing, and I think it gets a little discouraging because then people think that, oh, wow, they got a bunch of subscribers, they must be really big. Or like, look at how many comments. Wow, look at, you know, they get a little starstruck. I got starstruck in the beginning with other resellers when I first started watching videos, before I did any videos. I look back now and I kind of laugh when I realize, you know, they were the same people put their pants on the same way I did. You know, and they were human underneath it all. But I think people blindly follow and then they go, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do that because he's making it work. And I'm looking at it going, no, he's making money off you watching him. He doesn't care about that. That's not a viable business model.
Yeah, as long as he's, I mean, he could be showing you he has great sales.
And I'm using the term he as generic.
Yeah,
so
generic. They could be showing you great sales, but they're not making any real money on eBay. They're just doing it because that's what their reselling channel is about. You know, if I turn everything in my store on for $9.99, you know, that's going to show great sales, but that's not going to keep my lights on because I'm paying, you know, if I pay $5 for something, I might be breaking even on everything I sell. But because I'm showing great turnover and I have a great big followers and everything, my money is really coming from YouTube. And I'm curious. I'm just curious how long that's going to last. The YouTube AdSense and where it's going and all that type of stuff. Because I don't think it's a viable business model. It might be good for right now, but we'll see. I know they changed some of the rules, you know, recently about you got to have at least 1,000 subscribers or something, or before you can get AdSense and all that.
Yeah. And I think that once you come up with an idea, somebody else is going to do the idea. I mean, there's never going to be an original. I mean, yeah, somebody has to come up with it originally, but you're never going to have. It's kind of like private labeling, you know, was the huge thing for a while, and it still is to some people. But it's kind of like private labeling products. It's great, but then you send your product off to China. Once it gets popular, China's going to the factories in China are going to knock it off and stick their name on it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you were the first one that came up with it. Write it hard, but you know, realize at some point it's going to go bye-bye.
All right, Queen City Picker had a question for you, Dusty. If they have the YouTube Red that they don't pay for subscribers, or they don't see the ads, do you guys still make money off of those?
Yes, you do, and you get it's all broken down as I think a percentage. Like if a YouTube Red subscriber watches 20 videos a month, a certain percentage is broken down. Whatever that actually shows in your revenue. Hold on. It actually shows in your revenue of what percent of your revenue. It shows you exactly how many dollars came from regular YouTube views and how many came from YouTube Red.
So I don't do YouTube.
You know where the future is.
Huh?
You know where the future is, don't you? Steam.
I need a box, very specific size box.
Yeah. I got tape and extra boxes. I needed a box too. I made it.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of, is that the, oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I think I gotta go to the garage.
I just got to pack it all up, man. Yeah. Well, like I said, you know, everybody's got to do their own thing and do what's right for their own business.
What's that big Indian thing you got, Eric?
That is a carved Indian. It's wood. It's really kind of cool. I don't know what it's for. I bought it at an auction. I thought it was cool. I paid $20 for it.
Oh, that's his feather on top of his head.
Yeah, that's the only part I'm concerned about is feather. I'm actually going to use a tube that I got off of my bubble wrap. I cut it in half, and I think it's going to, when I pack it, it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pack all the way around it, so that way if it jams up in, it's going to hit the top there and not going to break the feather off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's, you don't really need to do a lot of protection for it. You're moving around too much in the packet. That's taller than I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. I'm almost out of glue, so it's going to be bubble wrap for most of it. Which is fine. And I have other tubes that I'm using to kind of keep it centered. So it's not bouncing back and forth. We get one more tube.
Is that a chainsaw carving?
What was that?
Is that a chainsaw carving?
I believe it is.
Oh, did you sell it?
Yeah, I sold it. I got $75 for it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I had it up for like $124 or something like that. I mean, because you just never know. It's just one of those things. It's so hardy. Maybe somebody will buy it. Maybe they won't. Who knows? Type stuff.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to deal with go with whatever you can get out of it. And then, I got 75. I paid 20. It's going to cost me 20 to ship it. I'll make 35 bucks off of it, which I'm fine with.
Cool.
It's just a pain in the butt to ship.
Yeah, it's big. It's heavy, probably too.
Yeah, it's like 28 pounds. I think it's going to be about 28 pounds when I get it all packed. When I first got it, it was really heavy because it's been sitting outside at somebody's house, and so it was water soaked. It's literally been drying now for the last, I think I've had it for about a month and a half, and it's actually lighter now than when I first bought it. So.
Cool.
But just weird stuff that sells. Glad it sold finally.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is going to go out in my front yard, and somebody probably steal it out of my front yard. But
we have a lot of those up here because you have a lot of chainsaw carvers up here in the north. Everybody does it to make extra money up here.
It's not a bad. I mean, it's a fun thing. I mean, I've done a little bit of it. I have a little electric chainsaw. I've played with it and everything, but it's hard work to get something that looks decent. But people want too much money for them usually, so you can't. It's hard to buy them from the artists themselves. You gotta get them on the secondhand market. And like I said, and I've never sold one before, so I picked it up on a whim. And I thought, you know what, I can probably sell that. And you do the research on them, and like I said, $100 is about where they actually, go. This is a little bit bigger. It's in Indian. A lot of times you just see bears or fish or stuff like that. So
you see a lot of bears.
Bears it's probably the easiest one to carve too. But now there's an auction in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania that I used to go to, and you'd walk in and they had an eagle carving, and I kid you not, the thing stood taller than me. And the eagle's wings were spread. It's gorgeous, and God knows what they paid for it. But I've never seen one that elaborate. But it's perfect. I mean, the only bad thing is they've got a crack in the wood from where it's starting to split. As they dry out, things split. And that's the only flaw in the whole thing.
There's a guy up here that does these totem poles, and then at the top of the totem pole, he makes it like an eagle's nest, and he puts a carved eagle in the pole. And I was down by the lake in the fall of the year, and I'm like, see this thing floating in there? We had a storm. Somebody's eagle fell off their totem pole, and I fished it out of the lake and grabbed it. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Put a lost and found ad in there. Are you missing your eagle?
Well, no, this has been a couple of years now. And no, they're just SOL.
Yep, you sold it, right?
No. You fricker, I saw you on that goddamn prop. You're such an asshole.
Wow.
Well, he comes in here, he goes, that boat we bought. He goes, oh, the motor seized. I'm like, what, really? Because I saw him put his foot on the prop, and usually if they're seized, you can't turn the prop.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? He goes, oh, yeah, really, it's seized. I go, really? From sitting? He goes, oh, no, it turns over fine. I'm like, he does this stuff to me.
He's just messing with you.
Yeah. We do this.
Here's how you mess with him backstage. That's great, because I took an offer on it this weekend.
And I'll go on the computer, like, when he sold all those motherboards, he sold, like, 3 or 4 of them, so, like, $750 worth. I'll, like, try to look real serious, and I'll go, oh, man, bad news. They want to return the motherboards. And he'll be like freaking out. He goes, are you effing with me? And then I'll finally give up. He's like, oh, you're such an asshole. I don't know why we do this, because then when something does bad happen, we never really truly believe the person,
She was $300 return for like a half an hour, and I thought you was shitting me.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
I think honestly, one was like 275 and the other one was 300, but close enough.
Yeah, that's
It happens.
interesting. It's how you have fun. I mean, that's the nice thing that both of you guys are really into it.
Yeah.
The buying and reselling. I mean, it's tough when you're one person's doing it, and the other person either has a regular job or they're, maybe they're a stay-at-home parent or something like that, or maybe they just don't get what you do.
Yeah.
I think we need a new website, eBay singles, meetup or something like that.
Oh, there you go. You can put 2 sellers together. That
That's
might
right.
be. Yeah. You'll have one will say it's only free shipping, the other one will say paid shipping. And then
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna say. Yeah, because you got to be compatible. What you sit across from dinner from this person you meet. What, you free ship? Are you freaking insane?
Auction?
Are you fast nickel or slow dime?
Auction?
I'm sorry, I can't be with you anymore. Your death pile is just too big.
Or your death pile is not big enough.
No, that's true. Yeah, you could always run into that.
It all goes both ways.
Yep,
That's too bad.
that'll be the Facebook group that I start. Yeah.
There you go. Could be like farmersonly.com, eBayonly.com. Come up with a catchy jingle and stuff.
Do you have more room in your house for another death pile? We've got the woman for you.
There you go. Judge are compatible made by the size of their storage shed or house or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't date you unless I see your 60-day solds.
How big is your garage again? Well, you got 2 garages? Awesome. You're the girl for me.
Yeah. When's the last time you bought furniture retail? Last week? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't work with you. I mean,
No way. My wife went out.
Not me, the first
First
one.
wife. We're broke, okay? We just bought the house. We did 20% down. So I mean, we're scrounging. We got all our money tied up in this house purchase. She goes out to the hardware store in our town, which is outrageously expensive. Go to the next town top because it's so damn expensive. Well, she goes back. She bought $175 worth of plug-in air fresheners. And we're flat busted. I'm like, really? You spent our last we had like $200 left. She spent her last she spent $175 on plug-in air fresheners.
yeah, my first wife would do crazy things like that. You guys are getting real scratchy. I'm having trouble making you out.
My computer's bad today. My computer's stupid. I'll try to refresh.
Yeah, might try to refresh. That's true. Yeah, dumpster diving on the first date. Small bubble wrap versus this big bubble. I mean, there's lots of ways to be compatible.
Any better?
No dumpster diving. Sorry, Blackberry Thistle Tea. She said her Wi-Fi is down here. Or there.
Here, there, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back.
Everybody have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow bright and early.
Yeah.
Adios.
See ya.
Peace.